best way Adelaide could play, is that as close as it gets to it, particularly moving the ball out of the middle with centre breaks and all that?
Yeah, yeah, it feels really good at the moment. Responding off the back of last week, and that's our game. Back to its best. I thought our mids last week, we challenged ourselves during the week about the level we need to be at to compete, and we responded really well today across the board. Not just our mids, but I thought, as you mentioned, I thought stoppage, centre bounce. I don't know the final score from there, but 6 odd goals it makes a difference when you're able to play the game down in your front half.
So this is significant when you have a captain who makes a statement like he did today.
Yeah, that's why he's the captain. Yeah, and I'm hard on him too. And he won't watch this, but if he does, he'll know. I am hard on him. My expectations on Dorse are increasing every time we play. But tonight he had a huge impact in a couple of areas, on ball and went forward, went deep, and it's a really good sign for us that I think he's done it off the back of an area we worked on this week, which was tackle, our intensity, our clean hands. I thought he was part of that started through the middle of the ground early, and it set the scene for the game, and then he was able to go and impact in different ways ahead of the ball later, but real leaders game for us.
Do you think you've learned what the difference is between the team that was against Fremantle to the one that from the very first moment just looked like it was going to do something today?
We know the difference. It's clear. The difference is clear for us on what we do and don't do in both circumstances. It's easy to understand what the difference is, but you've got to be able to execute it week in, week out. So we know we're going to be challenged in that again next week, and then the week after that. And I think the best teams in the competition, the ones that have a lot of respect, are the ones that are able to do it week in, week out, no matter where, no matter the venue, where you've travelled, how many days you've had to stay overnight, and so on. So we just have to be better in that space.
How do you see Jordan's form for today? Because obviously he had a fair bit of the footy, but his impact and I suppose efficiency, I guess, is highlighted a bit before coming into tonight.
We've been really pleased with Jordan's form. Obviously, if you look at purely 1 week last week, our whole team struggled a bit. And I know there's talk around about execution by foot and these things, but this is a guy that sits right up towards the top of the coaches' votes, and there's a reason for that. He's a very good player. He's had a solid year. It hasn't been perfect. We're all working to try and get to that, but there's a lot of stuff Jordan does, even when maybe the perception is he hasn't played well. There's a lot of things he does do well away from the TV screen, off ball, and his work rate. So I can't ask more. We'll just continue to improve.
And where would Josh Worrell be sitting in your BNF right now?
He'd be right up there. Yeah, he's in great form. And I think his form comes off the back of the way our group are team defending. I thought tonight was one of our best in that space. I thought not just our back six or seven, but I thought even our midfield and our wingers got back and helped out. We knew it was going to be a tough task. They have some real high-end talent in their forward line that if you leave one-on-one, you're going to find it difficult. And so we had a plan coming in which our guys executed. You mentioned Worrell, but I thought Keane was really strong. We had 4 changes this week. Jordan Butts was one of those who came in that we were really confident he was ready to go. So that's an even better sign for us at the moment, the squad depth that we have talked about. To have 4 changes this week and have Fogarty coming back in, Brodie Smith, who was part of that back 6, Jordan Butts and Sam Berry, they're 4 pretty good ins. So, it's pleasing to see our squad are strong and we've got some confidence if we do have injuries or we're forced to make changes.
It's a nice highlight moment for Brodie Smith at the end, but what did you ask of him this week?
Well, I've asked a lot over the last 6 to 8 weeks. I've asked him to be patient. I've asked him to continue to lead at our SNFL level, continue to drive standards. We have a lot of things, of values that are away from footy, and he's been so strong in that space. We've talked openly about Brodie's game. He might be playing some of his best footy, and at SNFL level, we know he's above that. But he's going up against Mitch Hinge and Wayne Miller and Max Michaelani, and we've got some guys back there in some pretty good form as well. If we have a young guy that's playing in the same form, it's going to be tough for us not to make a decision to go that way. Brodie's been outstanding in the way he's gone about it, and so we knew he'd be ready. And it was great to see that goal at the end. I think the song he played over the speaker was probably appropriate. Might have been towards me a little bit, but no, it's great to see. It's great to see for our group because it's stuff we've talked about that, you know, the footy gods work in funny ways, and we know Brodie's ready to go, and he showed it tonight.
So what's the difference in attitude from one week to the next? Because clearly you're talking about things that are also about attitude, just not how you play the game. But
Yeah,
there's a big difference there.
it might come down to a little bit more experience that we require to understand what's needed every single week. And, you know, right now the group feel great and we'll celebrate, and that's part of what we do. We're not going to shy away from that. You have to enjoy winning. What we need to find a way to do is enjoy it that much that we don't want to do anything other than that. Now, I'm not saying we're going away to lose games of footy, but the best teams do it. They find a way to do it, and it often comes with experience, but more so cohesion, like playing alongside the same guys year after year. We're building that. We're building that cohesion, and are we there yet? Well, you know, last week probably you look after last week and you say, well, maybe we got a way to go. But we'll keep challenging ourselves in that. You know, we get an away game coming up soon against the Meggies, but we've got a showdown next week that's an away game as well. There won't be too many more hostile crowds than the one we'll get next week.
Do you still enjoy the showdown?
Love it. Yep, can't wait for it. And it's going to build up. You know, there's always how do teams come in? Oh, we're coming off a win, they're coming off a loss. We know they'll be really hungry to bounce back, as we have been this week. So showdowns are always an amazing spectacle, so I look forward to it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.